Didn't you see? Clavicular got a goddamn New York Times, you know, biopic. Clavicular is 6'2", weighs 180 pounds, and has a 31-inch waist. His biacromial width, basically the span of the clavicle from which the 20-year-old streamer gets his name, is 19.5 inches. He has a mid-face ratio, which is derived by dividing the distance from the pupil to the mouth by the distance between the pupils, of 1.07. His chin-to-philtrum ratio is 2.6. They really got it all laid out. According to Clavicular, these calculations make him handsome. Just not as handsome as the actor Matt Bomer. Bomer. Clavicular dismisses concerns that the subculture is racist as dumb. Look at that fool trying to calculate beauty. I think that, I don't know, it's probably bad for the collective consciousness that stuff like this entertains people, because you're basically, like, Clavicular is no different from the, like, trashy early 2000s, plastic surgery addicted women who end up looking like grotesque monsters by the time they're 30 that everyone would gawk at on TV. It's just that there's a more modern, you know, more distributed culture of showcasing like what they're doing and why. But you could easily imagine like a live streaming version of one of those women, you know, back before live streaming was a thing. But if you took that to today, the only difference really is that because they're women and everyone would just laugh at them. Whereas with Clavicular, you get this weird semi-ironic culture of standing him, even though he's a lolcow. Very weird stuff. Miss Butterface. That's what I was thinking of. Do you think it's a form of body dysmorphia? I mean, these people are all grifters, so I have no idea if Clavicular actually does any of the stuff that he said. Like, he said he uses a million substances and does the bone smashing. I don't know if he actually does. I mean, he just looks like a kid, basically. So, like, who knows? People are laughing at him, what? Yeah, but that's the nature of the culture, right? We kind of talked about that a bit with Nick Fuentes, where you have, like, it's the modern lolcow culture is you simultaneously root for and mock the person. It used to be you found like abject losers online and then you made like narratives out of how they're losers. But nowadays, people are like, wait, I can get attention by being a loser? Let's go, loser maxing! And now the modern, like Dark Side Phil, I feel like is much more indicative of how this thing played out, right? Everyone thought that it would be like Chris Chan everywhere. Oh, you just find the big losers online. But there are so many losers and people lose interest. What you really find is that a lot of these people like the attention, so they play into it, and now everyone has the right. It's like fucking Pokemon trainers. Everyone has their own like variety of like, how do I play into being a freak, you know? And that's the way to maintain attention. Like, do you think Clavicular would get the amount of money that he's getting through donos and like stream attention and so on if he wasn't like that? Like, what does he have outside the mental illness? He's like a fairly regular looking guy, right? I mean, he's handsome. I guess not like exceptionally so. Where does he go else, like outside of that, you know? It's the only way they can maintain their careers. And people are cruel. Like, given enough time, the interest falls off pretty quickly. God, look what happened to the Tates. You did it, though? You did it being the good person and being a live streamer? Yeah, well, I never sought to be a lolcow. Lolcowdom found me. But yeah, no, like, you don't have to do that, but it's an easy way of... Look, it's... Okay, one of the main reasons I stopped doing debates is because I noticed almost everyone I talked to was doing this. Like, they didn't care whether they looked like a fool. They just wanted to be the guy being a fool, because then they could go live and they could be like, take a look how I handled my business over here. And then like, it doesn't matter what they did. They could have shit themselves on stream. It would not matter. They love the attention. And it gets them attention, you know? And I'm not participating in that. Midwestern Marks with the last straw. Oh my God, yeah, holy shit. Though he did have a platform beforehand. So in fairness, there was like some precedent to that. It's just that Ice Kid over and over. It's just that Ice Kid over and over and over. Yeah. It's the, like, I support Ice Kid at the school protest isn't doing that because he thinks it's going to springboard him into, like, a long-term media career or whatever. He's doing it because getting eyeballs on you is just the only way to make money through producing online content. Nobody wants quality. Though I do hear Clavicular's been putting out some quality stuff. Didn't he do, like, a fashion show? Hold on. All right. I look up Clavicular on Twitter. What do I get? 6'5" Australian Terra Chad, androgenics, flown to the US and bone smashed Max in order to hunt down the ASU frat leader and engage in a mog-off to avenge Clavicular after the brutal frame mog incident that took place last week. Overdoing it. Not as funny when you overdo it. All right. So that's the first thing that pops up. ASU frat leader. Okay. Let me see if I can't find... Oh, by the way, did you know this was clavicular? I only found this out like a week ago. You guys might remember this image of the shredded young guy having his ancient wilting grandmother hold the phone up in front of the mirror. This is clavicular from like 3 or 4 years ago before he got big. So he was kind of always a lol cow, I guess, because this is like a pretty crazy... Yeah, you can tell. Look at his face. It's him. Clavicular was mid-jester gooning when a group of foids came over and spiked his cortisol levels. Hate to see it happen. Where is the fashion concert that he did? Where's the runway modeling? Huh, I don't see it. No one cares, I guess. Vaush, here? Oh, God. I'm on Kick for the first time in my life. What is this? What is this platform? This is not how you walk on a runway. Okay? Okay, listen. Eyes forward, chest up, shoulders square, confident, poised. All right? No, you're nervous. No, your arms are moving too much. No, 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 no. Ah, my cortisol. Ah, He's slouching, man. There, look at her. Look at her. You're moving too fast because you're nervous. You've caught up to her. You have to... Dude, look at how quickly he caught up to her. She wasn't even in the adjacent row, and he just zoomed over. She is mogging him. Dog, a void is mogging you. And then he slows down because he realizes he's racing through it. Letting the camera guy cast a shadow on you? Ugh, Jesus. It's a disaster out here. It's a disaster out here.
I think I walked a little too fast there.
You did.
Is that good? Too fast, too fast, too fast. Yeah, I know, I know. Quick. Alright, I might have gone a little too fast there. My bad, my bad. Yeah, I fucked up a little bit. Yeah, I know. I know, might be.
Well, good first effort. Wow, that chat is brutal. Listen, I'm in favor of clavicular being popular because I think that in the interest of feminism, we need to give as many young men eating disorders as young women have. And that's what he's working to accomplish. The purpose of the incel movement is to inflict a comparable level of mental damage to young men as young women have to endure. And I think that's nice. Yeah. I think, yeah, it's a very, very equality minded. I feel like we should stop giving attention. Nah, it's not. Listen, he's just one guy. He's a blip, right? As is so often the case, odds are pretty soon he'll be out the window. It'll be some other guy, right? It's not that important. What's more interesting is the social wave that has allowed him to do what he's doing right now. You know what I mean? The popularity, the zeitgeist. Miss Kirk, wait, which, probably a different Kirk. Under the eye of a docent, Clavicular petted a sturgeon. He recoiled. It's like when you drop your phone in the toilet, he said, later excusing himself to, quote, hand sanitizer Max. He and Miss Kirk wandered into a section called Bizarre and Beautiful. They pressed their noses up against a tank of luminescent jellyfish. But they didn't touch. Though Clavicular's aesthetic ideal is hypermasculine, he believes he is currently infertile because of testosterone replacement therapy, which can affect fertility. Earlier that day, Clavicular confessed that knowing he could have sex with a woman was in some ways better than the deed itself, which, quote, is going to gain me nothing. It's a big time saver, he said. Back in the aquarium, asked whether she was on a date, Miss Kirk paused to consider. I think so, she said. This is actually riveting. This is actually very, 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 this is very interesting. Zizek posting. None of these people want to have sex with women. That's terrifying to them. Are you kidding me? Today, 10,000 people regularly watch Clavicular stream. I get comparable numbers. Where's my New York Times piece? Well, I guess I'm not as funny. My bit's not as funny as Clavicular's. What is my bit? When stream ends, I'm going grocery shopping. Is that my bit? You're too anti-Israel? Ah. What are you getting at the store? Well, my birthday is tomorrow, so I'm going to get some ingredients to make a chocolate peanut butter cake. Some conservative influencers have tried to wrest him into the right-wing manosphere, but Clavicular maintains all politics are jester, a foolish pursuit. To me, the big thing this signifies is how uncool being right-wing became, like, overnight. You know, everybody who went to that club in Miami and started dancing around to the Heil Hitler song from Kanye, all of them have, on some level, distanced themselves from orthodox conservative culture war posting. Like Andrew and Tristan Tate are now open lolcows. Like they just exist to post on Twitter and get 5K likes, 5K replies. You know, Sneeko for like a year now has been self-consciously posting about how embarrassing all this is for the broader movement. Nick Fuentes is openly renouncing the term white nationalist in reference to himself because he's tired of feeling like he has to defend obnoxious, low IQ, right-wing culture war grievances, as if you can be a white nationalist and not do that. And Clavicular thinks that it's foolish to get involved in politics, even if he consistently associates with right-wingers. All this tells me is that the incel movement remains culturally right-wing. They just find it deeply embarrassing to have to associate themselves with, like, Trump, basically, you know? Why does he always look sweaty? Because he's always nervous. Nick Fuentes says women are ruining Clavicular for him. Do women pay attention to Clavicular? Is that his target audience?
Pam, one stupid bitch said, Pam Bondi is jester maxing and currently being frame mogged by the House Judiciary Committee. She's experiencing visible cortisol spikes as she gets fact mogged while perjury maxing. It goes on. She goes back in for more. Zero composure gains, getting reclamation mogged every 45 seconds for filibuster maxing. That's intelligent pop.
He is right, by the way. When you start overusing, obviously, yeah.
Women ruin everything. Women ruin everything. A guy does something really funny. Other guys take notice and say, that's pretty funny. Then the dumbest fucking bitch you've ever heard comes on the internet. She thinks she's so quirky.
It's true, man. Only women do this.
She thinks she's being so nonchalant, and then she just beats the joke to death. Then she goes in and she fucking beats it to death. Gratuitously.
It's exclusively men who use those terms. Yeah, it is pretty crazy to do this bit. This, like, dude, women ruin every subculture they join, and the subculture in question is an exclusively male right-wing incel community. Like, where are the women at, dog? Do you mean like liberal women making fun of you from the outside? All of this shit that's happening on Kick, this is all like a male in-group. The demographics here are insanely slanted towards men. Where is it? This isn't happening.
And she comes back for seconds and thirds. Gesture maxing, frame mog, cortisol, fact mog, perjury. Shut up. Then she tags in Brett Cooper. It's a two-man. Brett Cooper quote tweets, crying emoji.
All right, I don't know. This is some like very specific grievance. If you want Clavicular, shoot your shot before he passes to an early grave from all the drugs he takes. You got to shoot your shot. You see what happened to Cheapy Reviews, The Right is Falling? Yeah, I saw. Oh, shut the fuck about white women. Always trying to tag the white in front of it. Oh, is that misogyny? Fuck. That's misogyny of my comfort Nazi streamer. Well, not Nazi anymore, actually. Politically ambiguous, politically homeless, white identitarian. Oh, they're talking about the fashion show here. I mean, are we not pretending these guys will definitely start promoting JD Vance in 28? Genuinely, I don't know if they will. Because, again, the main thing they care about is their bottom line. And right now, the right-wing brand, the Republican brand, is so toxic that they are like pulling away from it as a matter of self-preservation, you know, which is pretty funny. They probably will, but there is a consequence to being uncool. Like, we've seen this for years and years with Democrats, right? The Democrats pay a political price for consistently being fucking lame, you know? Like, there is a consequence there. There is a reason why it's bad to be that. You aren't homeless. Welcome to the wide world of independence. Nick Fuentes? I look forward to his New York Times profile on his midterm vote. When the police searched him, the officers found 2 pills, an Adderall pill and an oral steroid. Maybe it's not a bit. Vaush should start a podcast with Nick Fuentes, call it The Soft Day. Genuinely, like, if you want a testament to how important it is to be cool. So whether you like it or not, Clavicular and Nick Fuentes are, you could call them, I don't know, watermark. They're like watershed indicators for a certain type of community online. Not just the right wing. Not just the right wing. Are they right-wing? Are they right-wing affiliated? Yeah, but I've got a black pill for you guys. Not actually a black pill if you think about it, but it sounds like one. A lot of the people who like those guys are not consciously right-wing. They might be like super irony-poisoned internet lolcow lovers who just like the fact that Nick and Clavicular are funny and entertaining and every day there's some new hijinks or whatever. There are a lot of people who are like that, you know? I don't know what exactly, like what proportion of their audience is that versus people who are like hardline partisans, but my guess is that over time fewer of them are going to become hardline partisans because it's a difficult environment to be a hardline partisan in for Republicans when they're this uncool. You know, a good counterexample to this would be Mandani. Mandani is the only example I can think of right now of a politician who you can wholeheartedly support while also being edgy, irreverent, and cool. Mamdani is cool. Supporting Mamdani is cool. You get to point at him and laugh. You get to laugh with them, at him, whatever. It doesn't matter. You can make jokes about him. It's no big deal, you know? You can make jokes with him. You can attack the people who don't like him. You can point out that he's cool, right? You get to stand on your 2 feet and defend him hard and push out at the same time. And you can do that as like a regular policy wonk, or you can do that as like an edgy, irreverent, you know, Red Scare Chapo type or whatever the fuck else. You know, you can do that as like me. You could do that. You could do that as Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes, I don't know, maybe he has done it. You could easily, as Nick Fuentes, construct a bit where you're basically complimenting Mamdani for like defying the New York deep state Jewish, tyranny and winning or whatever. And his audience would go along with it, not just because he's playing into their pre-existing anti-Semitic biases, but also because Mamdani just carries an energy that makes it easy to get on board with him, right? No matter where you are. Makes it very, very, very easy to stand with him. So far, Mamdani's popularity has only gone up since he became mayor, too. It's just gone up and up and up. Very, very high levels of popularity. So, we'll see. He does carry a flame. Yeah. Even Trump did that? Yeah, to an extent. A lot of people who like Trump and a lot of the like meme magic energy that Trump carried prior to his elections, both in 2016 and 2024, were from people who weren't like principled partisans, if that makes any sense. I know it's difficult to think of these people because it's insane to me, the idea of being like that flippant with your political decision making when the consequences are so like dire, but there are just a lot of people who are like that. That's so stupid. It is very, very stupid. Yeah, for sure. It's very stupid. I've seen Nazi channels like Breezy Politics defend Mamdani. Yeah, no, genuinely. What a lot of people want is lifestyle based. It's personality based. It's not really about the politics. And that's bad. I mean, I think that points towards a broader nihilism, like a disinterest in political outcome. But a lot of people do want it. Which is, again, why you need like a knockout Democrat. You can't have like a fucking Biden type, you know? Mamdani did a lifeguard recruitment ad. It was very cute. Yeah, I saw. It's pretty cute.
New York's lifeguards keep us safe around the water. While you might think about lifeguarding as a summer job, we actually start hiring for them in the winter. It's a great way to make a difference in New York City, and we need lifeguards. Lifeguard qualifying tests are held across all 5 boroughs throughout the winter, but February 28th is the last day to sign up. To qualify, you have to be at least 16 by July 18th of this year. Pass the vision exam. Be able to swim 50 yards in 50 seconds or less with proper form. Because more lifeguards means kids learning how to swim, adults getting their laps in the morning, and everyone having a better, safer, and more fun summer by the water. To find out more information and sign up for a qualifying test, visit this website.
Is 50 yards far? 50 yards in 50 seconds? That's pretty tough. Yeah, you need experience swimming to be able to do that. It's not like crazy hard, but you definitely can't just like run that in no time.